Hello, everybody. This is that Friday before or Friday. I wish it was Friday. It is that
Thursday,
Thursday
baby.
before the end of the year, and we're getting ready. We had this plan for a while. We're just going to sit there and talk about what we think 2024 is going to look like. I have in my top right hand corner J-Man in there playing with us today. And we also got Marki Lemons, Ryhal, two people that we have a hard time locking down because they're all over the country all the time. We will have a third person come in, Carrie Little, who's also equally as busy, i.e. she's not here right at the moment, but she'll come in here on us. Coming in hot. She will come in very hot. So we are, like I said, we're going to talk predictions, mostly tech based. We're kind of that folks in this world. But what does real estate look like for 2024? How can we better prepare for our business? And maybe even give some insights of what we will be doing for our own business in 2024, what we look at and things like that. So welcome, everybody. Thanks for playing along with us. Thanks, J-Man and Marki, for being here. I appreciate you all very, very much. So let's begin. I'm going to start off. We kind of joked about it early on. We did this about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and I think we all admitted that we might have missed the biggest prediction out there, and that was, well, AI, right?
Who was thinking about AI? It was, I mean, like last year, first week in December, we're home, right? It's our slow season. And I'm seeing Chat GPT, what it took a month to commit that to memory. And I'm like, what is this? And oh no, not this AI. Oh, that's garbage. Oh, I don't know anything about it. Like this is me talking to myself 1 year ago. And then I tried it, and it's like the easiest tool that a tech user could ever use, right? And I'm like, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. I don't know what life would be without it. Like, I'm so freaking in love, but no, I wasn't using it, didn't want to use it. Ugh. Yeah, I missed that one.
Well, I would say for somebody that didn't want to use it, I think you like exponentially doubled down on that real fast. J-Man, what was your thoughts? I mean, I was saying AI for years, but I'll be honest with you, man, that was not the way I thought would be coming out. I thought we'd be coming out like using CRMs that are using AI and stuff like that, not full-fledged doing what we're doing today.
Yeah, no, not me. I could say like end of 2021, 2022, my number one topic was, talking about Web 3.0, metaverse, crypto, blockchain. I'm like, finally, this is coming back around because I spoke about it at NAR in 2019 in San Francisco. And they were like, what? I'm not ready for this. But then 2021, I was like, this is good. This is great. I doubled down on it. I made some virtual spaces and all kinds of like an auditorium we can go to in the metaverse. I'm ready. And then AI launched and it was like, meta, what? And then crypto crashed a little bit, but
A little bit.
It'll be back.
A little bit.
A little bit.
There was in the process of getting ready to purchase my own crypto rigs, right? I was going to be a crypto mining. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm glad that I didn't. What I did invest in, though, was Kitchen Direct. So I own a drop shipping indoor outdoor kitchen business. When the interest rates went up last year, it was feeling a little 2007-ish with the foreclosure crisis. And I'm like, I'm not doing this again. Like, I'm not doing that again. And so I did make an investment. I just wanted something, I guess something that I knew more about. Not that I'm an expert, but just a little bit.
Yep.
Now you can ask ChatGPT all you want to about crypto. 2022, right? So it knows a little. So let's start out with the easy stuff. We'll start with some just basic real estate questions, then we'll jump into the tech stuff. Are we up or down for next year, 2024? I mean, I don't know if anybody listened to Yoon this year, but he's obviously pro. What do you guys say? Are we up or down in overall sales next year?
Well, interest rates are down, so that means affordability is going up. We do have a shortage of housing. I did ask Lawrence because I did have the opportunity to interview him for Drive with NAR. No, for that, and then also for the program level up program that NAR does. So this is what my thought process is. So we know that interest rates are going to go down, and they're down already. Okay. That means that affordability is better, so we can have more buyers. The issue is we don't have enough inventory. What I believe our biggest hurdle is going to be in this country is that we have to come up with a new form of housing, or we have to repurpose commercial space. If we can if we can get more houses into, I would say fabrication, but think about mobile homes, small homes, tiny homes. And if we can repurpose quickly commercial real estate, then I believe real estate sales will be up. And here's the issue with the housing shortage. And I'll use me as an example. Mid-aged, 53 years old. We've been in our house for 13 years. My husband is the only person on our mortgage. I live within my husband's ability to be able to provide for me. It's just a household rule. My husband cannot afford to buy this house today based on the appreciation over the past 13 years. A lot of my friends have children that are in college, right? College is no longer 4 years, even though, guess what? 2024, I've heard numerous corporations are no longer requiring a degree. Go figure that out. Now let's come back. With that being said, my house today, according to, I use one of those tools to tell me the value today. It's going to come to me. Sister, nope, I think she owns the company, but it's going to come to me. Told me that my house is worth $834,000. Well, when we bought our house, we paid 200,000. My husband's salary has not appreciated with the same rate in which the housing value has.
Right.
We're
Right.
not selling. Let me be clear. We're not leaving. We're not selling. My last neighbors just bought $930,000. We're not buying a $930,000 house because I live within his ability to provide a roof over my head. So if other households operate off of that same principle, or the husband is the head of household, then you got a lot of people who cannot afford to move. They got a lot of equity, but they cannot afford to buy what it is that they have right now. We got an inventory issue.
For sure. J-Man?
Yeah. So I mean, I think with same thing with interest rates going down, affordability increases. We don't have the houses for them to buy. I was talking about this the other day. We have plazas, we have malls that are dying across America. If we could figure out a way to make housing, like think about how cool that would be. Each store in a mall that's empty has housing in it, and then you have this shared community space on the inside, right? Regardless of weather. You heard it here first, folks. But I think our market isn't going to surge like they're thinking. I think the really great agents are going to make more money, and the ones that aren't good at the things that we talk about are going to be out of the business because they're like, I don't know how to get a listing, or I don't know how to talk to a seller when the property didn't sell right away, over asking for, a million bucks. So I think the better agents are going to survive. They're going to make more money. I think the order takers that have been thriving in the last 3 years, they're the ones that are like, I want to see this house, write an offer. Those are the ones that are going to be gone. That's my prediction.
Let me just chime in, J-Man. With that
Yeah.
being said, how are they going to be compensated based on the lawsuit and the copycat lawsuits, right? So the skill set has to change as a
Exactly.
buyer agent. If in the MLS, most of them can now just I think they default to zero. And so at the end of the day, how do you demonstrate your value? And if you were an order taker and you didn't develop any negotiating skills, which is one of the most requested skills of any consumer for us, then you're going to have problems. And your inability, people come over here. This is generally that second job or the retirement job. If your previous occupation did not provide you with any tech training at all, you're going to be lost.
For sure. For sure. And it's, like I always tell everybody, there's very few of us that need to be techie, right? There's a lot of us, and there she comes. Welcome, Carrie. There's very few of us that need to be techie, right? But we do need to understand and not be bashful about the tech, right? So we need to have those skill sets. We need to be able to readily learn. We need to be able to not be afraid to go into AI or pick up your CRM or whatever and just get in there and play, right? There's probably maybe only 2 of us in the room, maybe 3, that can actually go in and break tech. Like I was designed and taught early in my career how to go and see if I can break tech. There's very few of us that have that ability or that worry. So the rest of us just need to go in and have confidence that you can go do it, or at least have office people that can help you figure it out and get in, or hopefully your MLS companies, things like that, that will do training for sure. One of the best ways to do that. So, okay. So with that, let's just get into it. The tech stuff. What do you guys see as what we need to be worrying about, what we need to learn on the tech side to be a proficient, professional realtor in 2024? J-Man, I'm going to start with you. Carrie, I don't know if you noticed or not, but it looks like you're muted. So I just want to make sure before you start speaking. And there we go.
Perfect. So on the tech side, Marki and I were talking about this last week, but I've been talking about video for 13 years, live streaming, all the things that you should be doing. And what I think now, there is no excuse. There's no excuse for ideas for content creation. There's no excuses if you don't like your face. Because if you don't like your face, you don't like how you look, you don't like how you sound, guess what? Create an AI version of that, right? Create the AI version of it, the perfect. Your hair is always perfect. Your fit is drippy as can be, and just create content all day. So that, it's not just on the social media side, but that it's also that client communication, that service, where they don't hear from us in the milestones of a transaction, when they go into contract, when they do the inspection, when they meet with the mortgage person. You have your little digital version of you, or representation of you, representative. I think that could be a game changer for everybody in the industry that don't, haven't adopted to video yet after all these years.
So I do think that's interesting. I think the avatars are going to be huge, and it's going to be a nuanced situation. But I'm going to ask the CE question for the day, the realtor ethics question for the day. Yeah. How does that fall with being the true likeness of yourself?
Have you seen these photos?
I'm telling you.
Have you taken a look at headshots? Are we gonna talk about likeness? Truth and advertising?
Say it, girl. Say it loud so they can hear you in the back. Yeah.
All of like Carrie's hair is real, right? But all of this. I mean, like, somebody posted a meme the other day, and it was somebody sitting at the back of the plane coming home from Turkey. So I don't know if you guys know this, but Turkey is the new hair spot. So men are flocking to Turkey to get hair replacements, right? We don't have just and mine are tattooed. So we no longer have these nano brows. We have women adding hair extensions to their eyebrows. Who has their real teeth now? I got mine, okay? But veneers, like we talking about something that looks like you, but I'm glad that you brought that up. In every state, according to license law, you still must be a human. Licenses are still attached to breathing human beings, period. So in the state of Illinois, it is a $25,000 fine per offense to practice real estate without a license. So I could use it in marketing, and you don't have to say it's you. Mine's is Marki D, the digital human avatar of me, because she can't practice real estate with everybody in a new AI real estate company. What license law does that company adhere to?
Right? No, 100%. 100%.
But I want to go back to what J-Man said, because I'm getting ready to make a post today about the digital human avatar. The global digital avatar market in 2022 was $13.5 billion. By 2032, it will be a $533 billion industry. If
Whoa.
a picture is worth 1,000 words, 1 minute, and this is a mathematical equation, 1 minute of video content is equal to 1.8 million words. And the way they broke this down is a second of video shot at 30 frames or pictures per second is worth 30,000 words. Then get this, 60 of those is worth 1.8 million. It's a true mathematical equation. So video content is the most valued form of content. Its value is substantially more. Whether I'm gonna say this, J Man, whether you're in it or not, because we're seeing seven-figure earning YouTube channels that have faceless automated videos because of artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
They better get on the video bandwagon, J Man. Or they
Video's where it's at.
Yeah.
It's been that way for 3 years. What they were predicting last year, I don't think I quite hit that number, but it was up there. They were predicting 83% of all consumable content was going to be done via video. So, I mean, I don't know about anybody else. If I'm going to read something or if I'm going to study for a test, the first thing I'm doing is YouTubing the heck out of that stuff.
No,
So,
I'm definitely using YouTube. But here's the thing. We're preaching to the choir. All of us have video content.
YouTube is going to start their own training portion inside of YouTube this year or 2024.
What does that mean?
So much like Skillshare and all these other websites, they're going to have their own version in there because they see a lot of people already doing it anyway. So they're going to build the platform specifically designed for that. It's already in process.
That makes sense, though. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. They should have been done that.
Oh, they should have done it a long time ago. Alphabet was real slow on that one for sure. Carrie, what about yourself here? You came in hot, so let's get that first hot take for the day.
So you want me to talk about the tech? I have to echo exactly what J-Man and Marki just said. Video. I used to edit television for a living in the 90s on an Avid computer. I won't even tell you who used to own it prior to the organization that owned it before me. And we, just like you said, Justin, we are more likely to go learn from video content. Now, I do understand that there are some of us that still need to read it to get it, but I have been seeing an increase in my views, especially on TikTok and Instagram. And, my 2024 goals is I'm coming back to Facebook with a purpose. But what I'm finding is even the algorithms have changed with video, shorter video. And, we this pointing thing is gone. People want to see your authentic you. They really want to see your authentic. They want you. They want to see what you've done. They want to see where you've been. They want to see what you've learned. They want to be in your business, but they only need a little bit of what you're doing to consume it. And it has really changed the game. And one thing Marki told me a while ago when Mark got licensed was pimp your husband. And I will tell you, whenever I do content with Mark, he will tell you all day long, he does not have to be the top producing real estate agent. But what we have learned is whenever we do video content together, whether it's live, whether it is pre-recorded, and we talk about investing, we always get a direct message and someone wants to unload a property. So he is literally only working renovations because I bring him in and we talk a little bit about what he's doing. And video has changed the game for us because it brings us more business and the business that he wants. It may not be the business that the average real estate agent wants, listings and buyers, but video works and people want to know what you're doing and they want the basics.
No, add one more thing to that, Justin.
Yeah, go for it.
So as somebody who's like, I'm 100% Puerto Rican, but I speak Spanglish, right? There's a number of times that I've called my mom from a listing, like, how do you say furnace? How do you say gutters? How do you say, real estate related terms that I didn't learn growing up. Like now, the opportunity to create content in multiple languages, if I'm in a big city, I could create English, Spanish, Russian, anything, Chinese, Mandarin, any language possible. I could create the same content 10 different ways, find an agent to refer it to, and just sit back and make videos all day and be a licensee that gets referrals, not have to talk to a buyer or seller.
And what's cool, J-Man, is CapCut added AI, and I can translate all of my 10-second or 30-second videos into Spanish.
Yeah.
I was like, that changed the game.
And then they have those templates in there that make it so easy, make you look like a pro video editor. It's crazy.
It's good. Especially for me, because that's where I stink, right? I think some of the tools out there for video are amazing. Carrie, you just mentioned one. CapCut is simple. You can take your own videos that you created and build a montage. You can build whatever you want. But to Carrie's point, I think it's one of the things that's interesting fact out there that I'm discovering with video that is huge and a huge watch is to the authentic you, right? It's behind the scenes. Here's what I do to get ready for my videos. Here's what I do to get ready for a listing. Here's what I do to get ready for showings. I've always told realtors the last 3 years since the pandemic, why in the heck are you not doing a VIP showing at your open houses? Like when you're setting up that house, walk people through while you're doing it, right? Give someone a VIP experience there. They're going to love you for that. And it's going to build your business every day. And those behind the scenes is what sets people apart these days because they're comfortable with who they are and they're comfortable with what they do for real estate.
I did a Facebook Live video down at the Chicago Association of Realtors in 2017 about the value of doing a live stream and open house. That video was not popular in 2017, but in March of 2020, it became a very popular video because of the pandemic. And so even when we start thinking about the fact that we're talking about predictions, sometimes it's not always popular at the time in which you do it. It doesn't mean that it won't become popular. And I say that because I think all of us have been creating content somewhere between 1 to 2 decades now. Okay. I recently did a google.com/trends stated that short sales in real estate had increased up to 130%. It goes from 120 to 130%. That means that I can now, because I had the content, I can go pull all of that video content from 2007 to 2012 and repurpose it because very few rules and regulations have changed since we were in the foreclosure crisis. Very few rules. But I have hundreds upon hundreds of hours of content from that period of time. ABC, CBS, Wall Street Journal, like all of this content that I could pull right back out today and repurpose it. So my issue with us as an industry is everybody who we buy leads from is a content creator.
Right.
We can become our own content creator, which then gives us more longevity in the business, but it also increases our earning capacity now. When I just read those stats about the digital human avatar, what I'm telling people is I'm thinking with the end in mind. What is my retirement going to look like? I want all the video content out today that will work because of the compound effect for those who haven't read that book that continue to work for me because I have content from 15 years ago that's working for me right now. It's content and it should be video.
No, I love video, all content, right? Especially if we're being intentional about our content. Most of it, as long as it's not seasonal, is truly what's considered evergreen content, right? So to your point, Marki, even though I did short sales 10 years ago, it doesn't mean that content doesn't come back and live a new life coming back up the road. And as long as we set those rules up right in YouTube, TikTok, whatever those videos hostings are, they're going to be refound again because they're going to start searching again. So that stuff always for sure comes to play. So we got video. Video by far, I think we all 100% will say yes. I think we've all probably said video for at least 3 years, if not probably closer to 9 or 10. Eventually someone's going to hear us and they're going to actually jump on it. What, Marki, would you say is another tech trend that you think we want to be watching out for in 2024?
Tech trend. Honestly, a custom chat GPTs, taking your essentially your non-available to the public content and training your own system. So we have the Realpreneur .ai. We have our own chat GPT. We're launching with the update of our website and focused on real estate entrepreneurs. So chat GPT, I think definitely it's going to be a new trend where companies have a greater ability to create internal bots to train people inside of their personal organization. And it also allows for more customization. So there's no reason why we should not be talking to people in their preferred communication style. One of my biggest disconnects is I know that I have to communicate with my bosses the way in which they want to talk to. So I don't like talking on the phone. And so when I think about talking on the phone, I reserve that for the education director, professional development, CEOs of associations, banks, and title companies. When people want something from me, they have to communicate with me in my preferred communication style, or the likelihood is they're not going to get what they want. AI allows us to customize as well. So I think that those who are leveraging it for customization will actually earn more money if you think about tools like the disc. If you sell to a person's personality, your sales should increase by 16%, or you should have a higher conversion of the people who are already in your database.
Yeah, no, for sure. Right. I mean, ChatGPT, I mean, it's been around for a while, right? There's some tools before it became public. We're using it already. There was definitely companies using it before. But the one thing I loved what you just said, Marki, is the fact that it's actually starting to become customizable for our own interests, our own needs, our own wants. Like what just reached in the last month, probably last 2 or 3 weeks, you could build your own prompt tools to even make life even easier inside that world. So how hard is it to be able now to build your own chatbot? I mean, J-Man, you're on that, right? You had your own pseudo chat box that you were doing for a while. Chat GPT is going to change that, if not amplify that world for you quite a bit, I would think. You're muted for some reason.
That should work now.
Very good.
Just say my chatbots are in the trash. Just the technology that exists now in comparison. I used to have to program out all those flows, hours, hundreds of hours, probably, if I started to think about it. Now that with AI, and I think Mark and I were talking about this last week with AI agents, even where you could have a digital avatar that has AI built in that could answer all of your customer service, client service related challenges, that can be your front facing side that, the consumer doesn't always want to talk to us. They just want answers sometimes. It's our big egos that get in the way and go, no, they have to talk to me. They're like, no, they don't. To find out how much they need for a down payment or what their closing costs are, what the interest rate is, like all of that information. I think the people that can have it readily available in any way that the consumer wants to consume it is going to win. And like Mark said with the GPTs, you just shared it in the comments there. We created one for exclusive buyers agents because I think that's going to be one of our biggest topics next year as this lawsuit gets copycatted into every different place.
Say that again.
Except Florida, because for every 2-3 people, there's a real estate agent. So good luck getting a good jury.
Well, and Florida's different too. They practice transactional brokerage there, but they still have exclusives as well. And just like any market, it's important now more than ever. We all teach the ABR class, I believe, to identify your value. We've been saying it, right? And get an exclusive sign. What happens if they don't want to sign it? Then you don't work with them. You're a professional. Oh.
I wanted to find this. McDonald used an AI post that I made, and basically, how they are coming up with suggestive selling based on the orders of the client. Now, think about this. If you are a family and you're consistently going through the drive-through,
That's dangerous.
yeah, it is,
With the app.
but let me just say this. When we
Mm.
use the Spot Hero app, when I pull in, it knows my license plate. And when I pull up to the gate, some of them automatically open the door. You don't have to scan the code, right? So imagine, and McDonald's might do this and we don't know it. They might already know, because those of us who go through the drive-through, we tend to always go through the drive-through. Like, it is
Right.
a,
Right.
a burden to get out of the car, to go in, and we get up. And honestly, I'm not the only household. We leave the restaurant and we go to the next restaurant and we cuss and complain on the 2 or 3 block drive over. I hope this line that long. So imagine through AI, they tag your license plates with your order. And they say, now here's gonna be the problem if your husband cheating on you, he had a whole different order last. like he got 2 Sundays, but you lactose intolerant and you don't have no kids at home. Who you buy them 2 Sundays for, right?
I just love Sundays. That's all.
Right. But imagine, so that would need to be some caution they would use. But drive-throughs could technically associate your license plates with your orders. And
I
then
mean, there's car washes that do that one already, right? I
Yeah.
mean, there's car washes that you pull in, they recognize your license plate, and they just let you through.
But imagine if they associated that with your social media profiles, because they look it up. Like, all of this is happening whether we
Nah,
know it or not.
the scary part would be the other side of this conversation. You pull up to Chick-fil-A to order your food, and it says, "No, we already got you." Right? We already know what you're going to order because this is what you want. It's Monday. You're going to order the Chick-fil-A with the tenders and the fries.
Right.
Right? That's
If
where
you
it's going to
want
be.
those single
We saw you had a bad day, so we're gonna add. We saw on
Right.
social media that you had a bad day, so we're gonna add a shake to the order.
Right.
Complimentary.
Right.
But you do know that's possible, right?
It's 100%
Yeah.
possible.
Everything that we're talking about exists. And the question is, we don't know if it's all been put together. We don't know the intel that these companies are using behind us. The only reason I know about the license plate thing is because of Spot Hero, and I'm pulling out the garage. I mean, I got my app open, I'm ready to go, and the gate automatically opens up. And you realize that on your ticket, when they printed it to give it to you in the first place, it had your license plate on it.
Mhm.
They can associate that to anything, because now they can look inside of probably the driving records for the state. They can associate that back with your social media profile. They can know if you got fired off of LinkedIn, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I got a special for you.
But
Wait
you
until
know, Mark,
LinkedIn
Disney's been
updates your
doing it.
firing before you know you got fired.
Right. You know Disney's doing this. You know Disney's been doing it. You already know. Disney.
Well, Disney's been doing it for a couple of years. They're not using
Decades,
ChatGPT. They're not using AI. They're just using very complex algorithms and the known
the
human
band.
process. Right.
So
It's toll roads do it too for sure. But you're right. I mean, for me, the thing that you just said, Marki, that worries me a little bit is that the tools are smarter than we are already, and it's been that way for a while. But you start putting in like Dr. Cialdini's book on influence, so you can put all those rules for getting the answer you want. You can be using the common workflows for lead generation that could be in place. They could be manipulating the human psychology without even knowing it, designed for that or not. Much like what years and years ago people got in trouble for having subliminal messages in movies, so people would want to go have a drink. Right? Those are going to be things that'll have to be answered at some point in time, and it's here now. Right? That's here now.
So think about the conversation we just had, and that new licensee coming into the industry who thinks that, oh, I love selling houses. And they think that the pre-license course is going to teach them how to sell real estate. Okay. They then decide that they really don't need any training. So they identify a company that's going to give them the mass majority of their money and not be able to afford to train them. Okay, and you're not going to be very politically correct on how I use this language. Um, and they don't have any tech skills.
Right.
So that means, and this is what I've been telling people this whole year, no one, and I'm going to get in trouble for this statement, no one has empathy for the seasoned real estate professional who cannot financially retire because they're earning the least amount of money per hour. Now I know some people didn't understand that one, right? So when I'm listening to people who don't use tech, who talk about, oh, I sell so and so, but you're still working, right? So the question is, are you financially eligible to retire? And it would be a smart business decision that based on your skill set, you should be earning the most amount of money for your time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
I'm in trouble. Somebody older than me is mad right now. And mind you,
Look,
I'm no
Marki, here's what's interesting is I recently taught a class in person, realist, in St. Charles. And it was really focused on realists, but then, you got to throw in some extra to make them motivated to want to keep coming to class. And after class, I had a managing broker come up to me and say, Carrie, you said something very important that I don't think people got. And he said, you said, technology, if you're not using it, what are you doing to stay relevant? And he literally said, Carrie, our brokerage has agents that are not tech savvy, but they're producing agents. He says, so we do it all for them and they don't care about the split.
But
so I thought
are you
that
an
was
entrepreneur?
Interesting.
Are you an entrepreneur then?
But first of all, they've been in the business for a
time.
long time. Because remember when we started, I had the company would put in my listings for me. They would set up all the showings. They would give me postcards when I would mail, every single month for a listing. They would put our things in the newspaper. And he said they figured out for their agents to be successful, the agents that weren't tech savvy, they do it all for them. And I was like, that's interesting.
Well, here's the thing. That means that agent likely is making less money per hour, right? Because providing you benefits, and the agent is making money.
Yeah, they're making less at that company, meaning the split is much higher. Let's go with that.
But they're making something. Now, there's some people who can't figure none of that out, right? And might only have an occasional deal. I would want to know long term, what does that look like? Because when I was at Rubloff, I loved Rubloff. Rubloff pampered us. There's never been another real estate brokerage that pampered their agents the way that Rubloff pampered their agents. I could tell you every agent when Rubloff sold likely had a little bit of an issue adjusting to the lack of services being provided to them. But some of them are going to retire broke or they have to work forever. I never wanted to work forever. I've always thought with the end in mind, even from when I first started using technology. What does July 31st, 2033 look like? And what I'm clear about is because I use technology, um, from a business standpoint, I'm waiting now for my wealth manager because I need to make another SEP contribution and I want to do it before the end of the year. I know that the first week of the beginning of the year, I'm going to totally fund my Roth IRA, right? So these are because we're profitable. And so no one is thinking, we don't talk about retirement. We don't talk about what life looks like after real estate. I just knew when I came into real estate what I did not want my future to look like, only because at the time that I was born, both of my grandmothers, one worked part-time, the other one was retired. Right. So I wanted my life to look like what they life look like. They were at home taking care of grandkids, being loved and adored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you.
So how do you motivate that non-tech savvy any age to remain relevant? How do you do that? I was in another room and you ever been, I'm Marki, you'll understand, J-Man, Justin, just, you ever been in a room and you could feel the weight of the room, like, oh my gosh, they're not ready.
Oh, sure.
I was in that room and I like, how do you motivate someone to, you got to get it. If you don't get it, get out. Like, do you even say it that rough?
Nope.
Well, I would, rather than motivate somebody towards a future that they're not ready for, like, just like you said, like, why not just tell them, hey, you know what? There's other options. You could be a referral agent. Let's make you a really good referral agent. You have a great network of people. Let's partner you with somebody who's really tech savvy. You can work together. You can just collect commissions, and you could, enjoy your life. Go golfing, go fishing, do something else with your life, and just have us work the network, or work the network with somebody else who's tech savvy and has AI and has a virtual assistant and can work your network better than you can.
I think words matter, though, right? Because do realtors really need to be tech savvy? They just need to be tech friendly, right? So it's to your point, J-Man, I've always said this. I've had a lot of agents in offices where they should be thinking about retiring, but don't for, various reasons. And I tell them, go partner with them, split the commission 25, 75, 50, 50, whatever, figure out what's fair, right? Let that person do it. But my focus lately has been trying to get them to stop thinking they're not tech savvy, because I don't need them to be tech savvy. I just need them to be tech friendly, right? I just need them to sit there and say, okay, I'll play, I'll do whatever, I will get in here and I will do certain things. And at the very least, know enough that somebody, and maybe 4 people in this room, that know how to get this done or can find people for them, right? So I think sometimes it's an educational mindset change, because everyone thinks they got to be tech savvy in this world. I just really think they got to be tech friendly.
I agree with that, Justin, based on how you just said it. Let me just say this. I think there's a but with it, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Or an if with it. Provided that they don't anticipate to make the most amount of money.
100%.
Right? And the reason I say that, I'm a licensed managing broker, but I'm not our managing broker of record. And if I looked at essentially what I earn in residual income, it is higher annually than what the average realtor earns. I knew I didn't want that responsibility because of the amount in which I travel, and I would not be competent in that role, right? So I found what was another alternative to be involved at the capacity in which I want to be involved, but yet earn income. So is it possible that you could be a broker owner and you could make, 10 times more than me? Yeah, but it's a lot that comes with that 10 times more. I have a few responsibilities. It's consistent income, but it's more than what according to the National Association of Realtors, more than what the average licensed real estate professional feet on the ground earn. And so I'm in 100% agreement, provided that they don't anticipate they're going to get the most money, and don't look across the table at what someone else is earning, because I can promise you, the person with the tech skills who's willing to leverage tech is going to make more money.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that, right? I mean, there's a $1 per hour rate that goes on that people aren't understanding. So 100%. I would say, there is obviously a big if, or as you said, a big but in the middle of that conversation, because there is definitely part of that has to play with that. So we've got video, we've got AI, which AI is obviously, it's here to stay and it's here to play. Carrie, what would be your big prediction for 2024 if we're saying agents be ready for tech? Anything different than what we're hearing here right now?
I would definitely say what J-Man said. Just get in there and play with tech, and don't just assume that it's going to come to you by osmosis. Show up to learn. Especially, first of all, you've got your brokerage, you've got your multiple listing service, you've got your associations, all of them, local, state, national, that are giving you tools. And a lot of them might even have AI in the tools. But if you can do the basics, like explain data, if you can use Remind, RPR, or Realist, you can be a listing agent in 2024. And I'm gonna go with basics just based on what I know about real estate agents. If agents would just take a second, you got Marki, a whole course on AI and leveraging AI and lead generation. Like if agents would just literally just dump in the data that they get, they can generate leads using direct mail, and then you can incorporate, whether it's Google ads, whether it's social media ads, or just video, and then redirect to capture the leads. You can be a producing agent in 2024. We saw that, we saw the updates with Dr. Yoon. We saw the updates with interest rates coming down, the expectation of more people considering putting their houses on the market. If agents would just do the basics with artificial intelligence and data, because in our market, realist is back. I've had realist in Florida for years now, and I was looking at I literally, while we were talking, I was looking at the pre-foreclosures, because Marki mentioned pre-foreclosures in Florida and in Illinois, and they're not all upside down. Agents have the ability, if they just took the basics of tech, hoping that realist gets more of the predictive, they have the predictive analytics included. But what if you've already learned it and you understand it, and then they incorporate AI? The sky's the limit. So getting in there to play, like J-Man said, understanding the lead generation process and AI, like Marki said. And I mean, this was so old school, but all of a sudden people started calling Mark, because we literally just sent out a mailer to this is actually one of my agents. I was helping her, but we sent out a mailer to like Broadview, Bellwood, Maywood area where I grew up, and someone has already called because we showed them the difference between 2013 and 2023 using Realist, InfoSparks, and ChatGPT. And I went really, really basic, and the letter literally looked just like this. Like when I say look just like this, it built it just like this with a report and everything. So I went really basic, because some agents just need to put in the mail. And it says, and I did put a QR code on it, Marki, just, and go to my Cloud CMA link.
That's not what I was getting ready to say.
I was waiting for you to say,
no.
What?
No. The number one issue I see with agents moving forward, it's not even the technology, it's consistency. We lack consistency. And it's mindset. So nothing of what we said makes any difference if you anticipate you're going to come and be a one-hit wonder. Consistency, we're talking, we've been doing this. This is what they'll say, but I want to come in and know how to do it like you do it. Oh, okay, well, put in 20. I want everybody, what year did you get a license, right? I got 24 years in, right?
18.
How many? Actually, on January the 1st, it'll be my 25th year. It ain't gonna happen like that, baby. Okay? And consistency is the key to longevity. And I'm hearing people want these one-hit wonders. Yeah, it don't work like that.
Because Instagram making it look great. And I was just like, first of all, you see, I came in hot. I'm like makeup like that. I'm like, so I'm just trying to figure out how people are looking this good every single day.
I don't know. I only put on lipstick because we on StreamYard and it don't have the filters of Zoom.
They do. It has it. It has a touch-up. It does. It has an adjustment. I just got rid of the wrinkles sitting here, Mark.
It's got an appearance one. It's mild, but it's got an appearance one.
Oh, touch up my appearance. Oh, it's mild at best. Okay, let's see. Oh no, come on, girl, get cute on them.
I was like, let me go see.
Oh, Marki. Oh my goodness, girl.
Can you see the difference?
That's awesome.
I have a 2 o'clock, so I'm just gonna in closing, I'm gonna add just one thing. I think everything that we've talked about, tools and all that, into technology, to keep in mind that it's a tool. It's not a crutch, right? I think agents can't get lazy. You can't use AI and then the tech that we're talking about and then do less. I think we've all been at conferences the last 6 months. AI was triple play. There's 10 sessions on AI at least. And it's not just copy and paste and be good. It's like be good at it. Use it as a tool to make you better. Combined with that knowledge, expertise, the prospecting that you've been doing from being in the business for a long time. That's going to be the big difference maker. Like it's a tool in my toolbox. Doesn't mean I don't do all the things that I used to, but now I'm spending time with the people that matter most: buyers, sellers, consumers, and my family.
So before you take off, Jay, man, I do want to say this because this is where my big tech trend is for this year. Because I'm already seeing it happen now, and I do believe it's gonna explode exponentially next year because it's too dang easy. Cyber crimes are going to grow rapidly. We're already seeing a lot of title companies get hit. It's becoming way too easy for these people to build AI voices and scam people. It's way too easy. So what I think next year is what people are going to have to investigate in and invest in. And I'm not a big proponent of virus protection programs, but I do think people are going to have to look at tools like Norton or something like that to have an AI authenticator program of some sort, so you can verify and validate what's legally going on.
NFT.
I love that. That's true. That's on my
So-
list of to upgrade, because usually I do the basic package, but they got the $49.99 and the $69.99, and I'm like, I'm gonna get the highest level. And with you saying that, Justin, let us be clear of a couple of things that we need to do though. We need to stop clicking. We need to take a deep breath before we click on anything, whether it's on Facebook or any platform. The second
Unless it's
thing,
emails from us.
yeah, uh, that go to, it's okay to pause and go over to the website itself and log in to see if you have a notification inside of there. When you get a update to your mobile device and any software, do the update, because it is patching essentially leaks into that system. And some of us still haven't done the last update that came out a year ago.
Yeah.
That would be it.
No, it's serious. One of I've had people tell me some really good horror stories that I'm going, whoa, right? So actually, I'm teaching it at our winter business meeting, cyber crimes, because it's the player to watch out for, and it's going to be too easy to manipulate us. Because again, same thing you talked about earlier, Marki. It's going to be too easy to know human emotion, and they don't care, right? The AIs don't care, so they're going to manipulate that and not worry about it, and they're going to hack. And it's going to be bad. And we're already seeing it, right? Like I said, title companies, there's been a lot of title companies hacked in the last 3 weeks. It's not going to stop. So before we let J-Man go, we'll finish off on this. Any big wild ass guesses that anybody has for next year? Anything that like to Marki's point, I want to have my 2018 guess be right in 2022, right? 2023. So what is that one? Oh, J-Man, I'll let you go first since you got to be out.
Yeah. My big wild ass guess is that Justin's going to shave his beard. I'm out.
I like it. If the right bet happens, maybe that happens. So
I'll go simple. My biggest guess is the real estate agents that are sticking with it and are consistent will be relevant in 2024, because I've been saying for years, 2024, 2025, we're going to see a pickup in buyers and sellers. But I still think inventory is not going to be like it was in 2008.
interesting. So Buffini 2 years ago, for his big bold prediction, said 300,000 agents down in the business. You're thinking you're going to see that in the next year and a half.
I just think we're going to lose some agents, because I'm talking to a lot of agents, like, sit down, figure out your goals. Does this make sense to you? It doesn't mean get out, but maybe hang your license. But I also think that the agents that take the business seriously, because it's bigger than just social media. If you put in the work and you're consistent and you keep showing up to learn, even when you get busy, I think they'll still be relevant. I do think we're going to lose more agents than even what our associations think.
I definitely agree with that for sure. I think there's going to we saw a very small decrease last year. I think it'll get worse this year for sure. Relevance and knowledge and professionality is going to help the people survive that are going to survive. The ones that are making this part-time. And I'm not saying anything against part-timers, because there's a lot of people that are really good in the part-time world. It's not that, but people that are taking this more as a hobby and not a job, it's going to be a struggle for sure.
For me, my understanding is that with a lot of the prop tech companies, 1/3 of credit cards are not swiping.
Mhm.
Okay. And so we've been living off our credit cards essentially since the real estate market shifted. Oh, what is that? June 2022, when the interest rates went up. Okay. I definitely believe that we're going to lose more agents than associations are predicting. And here's where I think we have an issue. And I'm speaking to three of us. As avid volunteers who sit on boards and are of service, we understand the value of our members. Okay. We want as many members as humanly possible, right? Budgetary reasons, the ability of buying power, of lobbying efforts, all of that. But as a licensed practitioner, we all know and believe that we need fewer of us because we have less competition, right? So it's kind of like we're stuck because we're being of service, but then we're also individual business people. As an individual business person, I actually have a steak dinner bet on what number we will get under. I believe we'll be one person under 1 million. That person does not foresee that, but I have 2 years on that prediction. A lot of people weren't practicing anyway. If you look at the MLS, what percentage of agents have not closed a deal per the MLS in the past 18 months?
There's a lot.
A lot. And people want to be in business for the sake of saying they're in business, but they aren't making money as a business. So I predict that we're going to lose people. For the practitioner, that will be better. It will not be better, though, for essentially our beloved associations and the people who we're avid volunteers with.
No, I definitely agree with that. There's no way not to, right? I mean, you got the lawsuits going out. It's going to pressure people. It's going to scare people, right? When we had the pandemic, there was enough realtors that were tired of going through change that they stepped out of the business. Same thing with the recession in 2008, 2009. We lost people. What's going on right now is going to have that same effect. You're seeing it a lot. You're seeing a lot of conversations. You're seeing a lot of people that are nervous for it. I love that bold prediction, Marki, because I've thought the same thing. I thought we will get back under 1 million for sure. I don't know when. I think 2 years might be a tad aggressive, but I definitely think it's for sure.
And one thing that I haven't seen publicly spoken on, but I definitely think we need to have a real discussion about it. Based on the mirror image lawsuits, how much of our great staff and CEOs are going to look for other opportunities where there's more stability inside of their industry?
Oh, for sure. Right. Leadership shifts. You're already seeing that. Like part of my job as a realtor trainer is to go through and see who I got to talk to that's new in their position. Right. I'm sure some of us have practiced that similar habit. There's been several new.
And I don't think, and here's the thing, I don't think that we're losing just anyone. I believe that we're going to lose the cream of the crop.
Yeah, we're for lack of better terms, we're losing the wrong end of that conversation.
Exactly, because it's going to be the people who are most talented who can, one, leave and make more money. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and no one is, we talk about it, I would say behind closed doors, but it has not been a public discussion. And to me, if you are a principal, you're a CEO, then that's your business. Like, that's what you're in the business of doing. So I would like to see what that looks like. But then for education standpoint, that means we got a whole lot of new people who we have to get to know.
Yeah. Be in front of people
because they
all
still
day long.
need continuing education.
They all do. That ain't changing for a while anyways. I do think one of the things that's interesting, to Carrie's point, I'm going to give you my big guess here in a second, but the one thing that Carrie said that I think is running true that I'm fascinated by, anybody play with Rosetta Stone?
Carrie
So they're using AI to teach you a new language. They're teaching you inflections are right or wrong. They're using it in conversational. I think you're going to see that more and more, even for real estate. I think if we're going to build classes, we might have to look at hiring people down the road somewhat soon to actually build some of those role-playing immersion conversations into our programs, right? I don't think there's any way around that conversation. And I think offices, franchise specifically, if they're not having that same conversation, they're going to fall behind in a heartbeat.
And what's interesting, Justin, is because I'm licensed in Florida and because my phone knows that I'm practicing Spanish every single day. It's just really so my kids don't tease me. But I now get emails from brokerages that are 100% Spanish speaking in Florida. And I'm like, you know what? Here's my opportunity to learn. So I just sit and read. And they've adjusted based on probably where I currently live and the fact that I'm a Florida agent. So that's an interesting statement. And we could easily talk about all these issues that we haven't, that I'm not ready to even open that can on yet, Marki. I don't know.
Oh no, trust me. I think once a quarter we could come back and have that conversation about that in a heartbeat, because I think it's going to change that fast, about realtors, what they need to be doing and how they got to be focused and how they need to be intentional in their business. Because rules are going to change quick.
So I was in Omaha, and according to the Chamber of Commerce, going back to the Rosetta Stone, according to the Chamber of Commerce in Omaha, the number one language in the next decade will be Spanish. So now let me come back to in 10 years, like we'll be retirement age, right? Give or take a year. Am I adapting my content today, not to necessarily service the Spanish speaker because I don't speak Spanish fluently and I believe I would be incompetent, but to build referral networks when you understand there's going to be a language shift in the city and where you live?
Because in our city, we're 82% of the kids in the city I live in speak Spanish first. And so that, decades ago, they started dual language. So you're absolutely right.
Yeah. I just think you're going to see a lot more immersion, right? I mean, I have a master's in training and development. The best way of learning is those higher level Bloom's taxonomy conversations, right? It's just what it is. But most of our training programs don't currently have that ability to do it, right? It's just not how it works. We're going to see new learners come in, younger learners that want to be on that phone all day because that's all they know. And you're going to see more of that stuff out there. So that's going to play. But that's not really my big old guess for the day. My big old guess is this. I don't know if anybody's paying attention, but almost every sunglass company out there is building augmented reality into their glasses. I think augmented reality is going to explode next year. And if real estate is not...
Go ahead.
If real estate is not tying into it some one way or the other, they're going to miss out. Right. So if they're not going to have kind of like Waze type things where listings are being portrayed out there, or if they're walking through a house with their glasses on, because this isn't the old Google glasses. This is way better. It's way easier. Football players are putting this stuff out there. They can see the play and they can see the passers. It's out there now in a small condensed form. If real estate companies, like if you're trying to start a real estate company today, I'd be looking at augmented reality. Like you could walk through a home and you could see all the highlight points and you could see all that stuff out there.
I think people will be able to sell in other countries and live in other countries and sell in the United States. So really, Snapchat was too soon on their glasses.
Well, I agree, right? And I don't think it'll be this year. I do think it'll be a couple of years down the road, right? License law may have to change, right? Because doctors can operate people from a different state. Why could we not help walk them through a home in an area? Now, again, trust me, that's an outrageous comment. And I totally get it because there's all sorts of knowledge and things like that we got to have conversations about. I totally get all that part of the conversation. But how hard would it be for them to walk through a house and me walk them through with it and be able to and be my professional, help them walk through it, or walk through the contract and help them understand it, as long as I'm licensed in that state, mind you. But I do think those conversations out there, augmented reality, that's my big guess for the year. I think you're going to see a huge upshift in augmented reality by the end of the year, just because the technology is already there.
Did you see the news? There was someone on the news saying they were asking these same questions about AI. It was either yesterday or the day before. And she said, I'm convinced that next year that there'll be an augmented reality version of me doing the news when I can't be here. I was like, oh. So Marki, when you can't be in person, not that we have ever, any of us, Justin, have ever double booked ourselves.
Never. What are you talking about?
Oh, who can I get to replace me in a pinch? Because I actually built an entire course being double booked for that one organization. But you could literally have an augmented reality Marki. And maybe, let's see how entertaining AI Marki could be.
Either A, she's not going to be as entertaining, or she's going to be too entertaining. And look, then I'll really be Marki to the second power. My only thing is, I operate on the edge all the time with the things that I say. Like I like to push the envelope. Her ability to not push the envelope over.
I mean, there's a lot of truth to that, right? I mean, the challenge what we have with where technology is right now, and one of the concerns I have with all this is the way we used AI conversation today is right on. It's AI. But there's a lot of companies selling AI when it's just really fancy programming. It's not an AI program. It's not learning. It's not doing anything. It's just A plus B equals C every time, and they just have that manipulation. But if it's true AI, it has, I mean, again, I teach everybody in AI world, when they're doing things, you have to think about it like it's a 3-year-old that's repeating everything you say. It doesn't have enough nuance understanding yet to understand that Marki can't say that because that's pushing the envelope just that part too far, right? It's like a good comedian. Comedians go and try out their stuff so they know what jokes land and which jokes fail. So when they go to Netflix specials, they have all the jokes that land. AI doesn't have that yet, right? AI does not have the nuanced details to understand when it's gone too far, which for me is what I'm never a big proponent of promoting a SMS chat tool AI in real estate because they don't know that nuance yet. I like them. They simplify my life and I think they're wonderful, but I'm a little conservative on it, right? And I know I just see Marki going give me that frown and I get it. I just understand I'm a little conservative on that conversation. So I'm not against it. I won't tell someone not to do it. I just don't push it at this particular point.
We don't want to see AI Justin in an ethics hearing. Is that what we're saying?
Exactly right. I don't want to have that conversation. Well, you formed agency when you said that. Well, I didn't say that. No, too late. Someone did.
And I agree with everything you just said, Justin. So it is the capabilities to know when it's, you have to understand license law and the Realtor Code of Ethics to know when it's not acting appropriately. And you still have to read all of its content to know when to adjust.
100%. So we have done this for just about an hour, a little over. Any last comments, things like that before we send everybody on our way and yourselves? I appreciate Carrie, Marki, and J-Man who bounced being here. I do thank you all. Carrie or Marki, any final words, any final things, any final, anything you want to say? The floor is literally yours.
Hey, consistency is key. You need to be putting out 32,000 words of content every single month. For every 6 figures you want to earn, and that includes video and or photos, keeping in mind that a picture's worth 1,000 words. So you could put out 30 pictures in a month, provided that you are going to support it with some form of context.
Perfect.
I'll keep it real simple. Pick one thing that you can do every single month so you can have a win. And just like Marki said, consistency and follow up until they unsubscribe.
Yeah. Mine is a takeoff on Carrie's. I say it all the time. I literally have a mug that has it on there. Master one thing, move on to the next. We told you a lot of stuff today. We hear it all. Every single one of us have a lot of things we think are awesome and it can be successful in. But you know what we all did? We focused on the one thing first and we moved on. We're ready to move on to the next thing. So take it all, use it all, however you guys need to use it, but focus on the one and then move on to whatever's next in your world. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate you all. Appreciate Marki, appreciate Carrie, appreciate the audience for being here. We had a lot of people there participating. I loved it all. Thank you. Thank you. And we will see you at the next one. And there will be more next year because as I told my crew, this is my one thing next year.
All right.